Hello there, my friends. I'm Kate in a Nest, and yes, I'm having a happy home day, celebrating that I have finished mostly my day job for, I'm going to say the year, but that mightn't be true. But because I'm at home and so happy to be home, I'm thinking of you and hoping that you have started the week off well. I can't believe we're almost halfway through it, but I'm really going to slow down and reflect and treasure every moment. I have been taking my time to unpack, and my husband just went by and I said, I think I've been asleep. And it's the middle of the day. Well, it's 3, I don't know what time it is, but it's after lunch. And he said, I know you have, Kate. I've come past a couple of times. So I suppose that is just a reminder that our bodies do what they need to. And I had told him I was just going to have a little lie down. I didn't expect to go to sleep. I was watching Kate in the last Homely House video, and her beautiful soothing voice obviously put me to sleep. So here I am. What am I going to do? Well, number one, I'm going to hope that the nest around me does not collapse. I've literally got things stacked 2 and 3 feet around me because I haven't had a good time. I've been in and out, a good time to tidy. I'm going to just lean over and close this window because I can feel the hay fever creeping in just because I'm closer to my beautiful garden. So here we go. What am I going to show you? I'm just really going to chat, bring you up to date with where I am on the Swan Tote, which I began last week when I was in Western Australia. Now, originally I was going to call it the Perth Tote, then I changed it to thinking about Western Australia, and then the lovely Michelle suggested I call it the Swan because I love swans, and I made it in Western Australia. So this bag has got no swans on it as yet, but that gives me a great incentive to find one and to make sure I attach it. So I'm probably saying so and are a lot of times. Forgive me. I feel very rusty at talking to you. This is a combination. I'm just looking at it and seeing, have I got any vintage textiles on here? Yes, I have. I've got that piece of bark cloth, and I have excuse me, this bit of vintage cantha and this bit of embroidery that was gifted by the lovely Jess at the end of our 3, well, she brought in a tablecloth and put it in the center of my workshops there. So during the time since I've shown you this, I have been really getting into my, oh, there's another vintage little violet there, into my embroideries, into thread painting, into seed stitch wherever I can, bringing out leaves in a different color so they don't look like leaves, they look like flowers. There's my little teacups. There's the butterfly by Natalie Latte. This is the Lucello green fabric, and I have been turning that reddish flower sort of mauvey purple with my own wool. The Liberty label is now on, and I've sewn it on with bright hot pink fluoro thread from Christie. So it's got memories everywhere. There's still lots to do, but I thought today we would have a look together at using some of the same threads, some of the same fabrics, I mean, and some of the same ideas, but move to the other side. I'm not sure if I showed you this when I was constructing it. I did it all by hand, and I left on deliberately the label of this vintage. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about the sniffles. I will just keep my tissue handy and we will see how we go. All right, so there is our blank canvas. This is my favorite needle at the moment, and it's very long and I love it. So what have I got close to me? As I said, I'm still unpacking. This fabric I've used in my still life. And do I want to use, I was thinking I was going to use a fair bit of this, but I might be doing a series of still lives. So let's go smaller scale. So I'm just harvesting this beautiful rose. It's still got a bit of a frayed edge on it. There we are. So I'm not even starting with big pieces of fabric. That needs an iron, but we'll just do a finger press at the moment. Let's have a little reminder of colours. Pansies. Oh, I've got that yet, and I've got plenty of that. It's really funny pink, isn't it, when especially under the lights. They're my Western Australian colours, I'm calling them. About using some of this gingham, because something like that. All right, just if I forget, will you remind me? I think I gave away, not gave away, but shared all of this fabric in the reminders of my workshop, so that mightn't be as easy to find. Is this double or single? Single. Now, I like to work in thirds or not halves. Oh, that's nice. So what if we've got the label there and we've got that as sort of, it may not stay. The good thing about this side, it's already got the blanket stitch intact. Yep, okay, so I was very bright when I was over there. And may that long continue. I missed an open studio yesterday, so I haven't caught up with my people, but I have got you, which is that's my celebration. Like, if I can stop what I've been doing and get crafty again and hang out with like-minded people, feels like Christmas. So how about that? The print is a butterfly up there, and that big flower, is it upside down? Is there a right way and a wrong way for these flowers? That looks more like the right way up. Then the butterfly, oh well, I suppose the butterflies can fly down. Let's go that way. And it may be, yeah, it will be. Then I cut a little bit of a butterfly shape here. And then we'll put some flowers and things over there. So let's put that long length on. Where have I got my pins? So this is literally, feels like the first day that I can unpack and actually breathe since my time in. Well, I really started in January. I've been literally working most days, and I don't like to call it work because it's been the most wonderful time, but you know what I mean. In my mind, I feel like I've got, now you'll be saying none of this goes, especially if you're new here, and I should say welcome, welcome. But the idea is we just make a garden first. There's the butterfly, can find a home near that beautiful flower. So she's heading that way. I've got this orange down the middle. And we need some other big fabrics. Maybe that, yeah, I think I'll only use to there. There's a bit of collage scrap from an itty bitty that I'm liking the shape of. I'll take one layer of blanket off. Oops. So the aim is to sort of cover with a base layer. And then we can start embellishing on top. Here comes another sneeze, sorry. Oh, goodness. The garden there. I need to say thank you for all your good wishes about our YouTube anniversary together. It's really not my anniversary, it's our anniversary. Lovely, lovely messages from lovely people who watch. I think that's better. Let's stay with the pinks. I'll just move that over so we can see that little flower there to embellish later. this is a fabric. Oh, there's a calf facet flower that my mum used on that quilt, so that's just plopped on. How about we use a little bit of this? I like these vines, but actually they feel more logical that way. It's quite warm. Oh, and look at that one. I think these were flowers I'd cut to, who knows why I had that already cut, but gee, that's perfect. Look at that. Let's put that there near the butterfly and the rose. Let's put calf's flower there. So we've got lots of contrasts in fabrics, in shapes, in colours. I'm smiling as I remember that when I was at Calico and Ivy last week, some ladies would, I may have told you this before, but I'll tell you again because it's just a beautiful thing to make us all smile. Some ladies who'd come into the store to buy, you know, fabric or wool or something, would sometimes wander down and they would say, oh, this looks interesting. What are you ladies doing? And it became the standard answer that we were gardening. And, you know, the more I probably articulate what we are doing, we are gardening with textiles. We're making multiple places for the flowers to be happy, and in that way our souls get happy. I like those 1, 2, 3. I was going to say I like them together, but bouquet and bunch wise they might be better. She might be better up there. We'll see. That side looks a bit neutral over there. How many times have you seen me with this clover flower that hasn't still found her forever home? Oh, look. There's a swan. Please believe me, I didn't have that there. Didn't even know it was there. So maybe we just amend. Oh, it's beautiful colours. We just amend our garden. So that our Swan vintage doily becomes the centre. We might use a little bit of tea or something because our swan, and I might colour that swan in so she stands out. But there we are, we have the first of the swans in the willow garden, it looks like. I have all sorts of things here. I've gone quiet. Don't let me cover that butterfly up. This is the manga, my little textile book. I started with Fleur. Because now we've got this beige. I love the idea of that frill there, and I love the idea of that story, because this is, oh no, it's Western Australian blanket, isn't it? Thanks to Christy. Oh, we never know where it came from before that. Let's put that there to fill in. So we have vintage fabric. We have that from your place, Matt. Oh, very happy with the progress. That's Liberty that I got over there. I'll keep that because I need to think a little bit more about what we had on the other side. Just for a bit of, oh, you couldn't see that, a little bit of continuity. Yeah, I think it's holding together. And that might be enough of a first pass. We've covered the majority up. Another pin up under there. Do you ever do that? You realise that you're stitching and you've got 3 layers of So my rule is we don't cover up, that I made up for myself. is that we don't cover up, in this instance, the stitching of the original maker. So I'm just thinking though, if I trim this a little, this flower, we can hero the crochet trim and have it peek out behind and then embroider. There we go. That's a quick lay. Now let's do some stitching. I'm often asked, what do you do next? And I suppose increasingly I'm stitching to get, oh goodness, that's a real indication, isn't it, that the power of the particles in the air, or it might be the dust in this room, not dust as in like, I'm talking about vintage, perhaps, I don't know, but certainly I am sneezing more. I haven't been sneezing. I haven't sneezed once today. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm doing tiny tacking. Which is just a fun way of saying take the old tacking stitches and make them tiny on the front and big on the back. So that's coming out in big stitches. It's also called invisible stitching. I think for beginner stitches, sometimes that idea of a tack, because most of us have had to tack something down in our lives, and so it's just a tiny up and down on the top and a long one underneath. And do you have to go in straight rows? No, you don't. So now, right on time, we're going to come down onto this flower, and I'm going through 3 layers at the moment, still not to the back of the blanket. Oh, and you can see why I'm tugging, because something is, the needle's battling with all of that. Now we're not going down as deep. So that's enough to sort of just keep that in play. And the idea is I may well embroider over the top of that, but if I choose to leave it showing, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. I don't change colour. And on a piece of work like this, I could just as easily be tiny tacking with a particular coloured thread. Now I'm going to gather this up a bit because I love that effect with the silk sari. And this bit of a mini make, I'll just go roughly . So basically that means me of sniffles has got that row sort of down. And now I want to, I'm losing the impact of that butterfly, but you know, there's so many butterflies in different parts that that might become one butterfly of two. Now, because I've had enough of my stitching not showing, let's go to this lovely wool. It's a little woolly makes. Couldn't talk because I had the needle in my mouth, but that flower just plopped down. Long thread. So let's see if we can just, did I put a knot in there? I did. So let's come up under with the knot. Tuck that under there. And now let's do some big visible applique stitches, which sort of suit this, well, in my mind, suit the wool and also suit the nature of this calf facet flower. Oh, how do I want that leaf? Do we want to see it? I think we do. So this is very thick. I've got wadding that my mum used in the quilt underneath the flower, so that's why a bit of a battle. So let's take it around this side. Right through like that. I think you can see all those layers. It's a bit like all the wild grass and weeds that has grown. We've had obviously a combination of heat and rain and all sorts of weather when I haven't been here. Okay, so that gets rid of that pin. I've still got thread on my needle. We do like to stitch until the thread comes out. So I'm going across here. That gets that rose. Oh, it's got three pins in it. Very lucky flower. It's not a flower. Okay, and this is where I love that the doily does the work for us. So we're going to just use the holes in the doily that were there for the crochet needle to go in. And I'm still doing tiny tacking really because I'm just not going in every square. I'm going long stitch underneath and little stitch on top. Okay, so we're up to here, and now because there's a vine here, can you see that sort of brown one? I'm going to do an obvious running stitch over the top. That was a very big stitch. And that will get us over to our bit of fleur where I've got green stitching, and let's just see if I can anchor this down. Sorry if I'm going upside down and around. Is there a song that goes upside down? Down? Yeah, anyway. You must be able to tell how happy I am to be home. Breaking into song. I didn't check the battery on my phone, not the battery, I did check the battery, but the phone storage. I haven't made many videos lately, so hopefully I better just check. It's still there. Oh gosh, that would have been a shame. There we are though. I picked up some of the stray there, and I mentioned that I wanted to ruche or gather this bit of sari silk, which I am. And the needles come unthreaded, so that's a sign. Yeah. So there we are. That hasn't taken long. What's in there? Oh, under there, my cotton. We have begun side 2 of the Swan Tote. Oh, I just remembered this is the doily that Susie gave me that wrapped my badge. That's why she was sitting there. See, sent by heaven. That is very incredibly special. So there you are, Susie. And to all the people who have stories, however you're feeling, just know you're not alone. And flowers and gardening continue to make me happy, and I hope you happy by watching. Okay, that's it for now. I will see you again next time. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.